So I had a whole script written, and we're just gonna erase it because the same thing that I said last week or 2 weeks ago can really apply for this race, and that is, can anyone catch Luke Krause? Because the last time he had 4 wins in a row, now he has 5 wins in a row. And interestingly, we were just speaking before we went live, and we don't even care that he's out and away from the rest of the field. He has a 49-point lead over his teammate Josh Klog as we enter round number 7 of the 2021C Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, the Phoenix Race for Nations, presented by iDrive Sim. As it's Josh Mertz alongside me is Cody Erdmann in the commentary cube. Then we have Zack Johnson in the production truck. As always, our show tonight brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers. I'm not prepared as to how many people we have. I'm going off the confirmations. Our 22 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. Nothing new. Luke Krause, 36.201 here in practice as we finish up. Cody Hartley, though, former champion, 36.251. We've talked about Larill battling with Krause, but what will happen tonight?
As we've seen, anything can really happen here in Phoenix. Literally, this is my side of my last final I've made because the seas parted going over the tabletop and I was able to squeak through into the final. So anything can or will happen. I just noticed that, speaking of former long-term drivers here in NASA, Chris Wetz was P5 in practice, so anything can happen. This track is probably, I would say, is one of the more forgiving tracks and is one of the easier rallycross tracks that they have on this service. So I think it's more of an open game as I'm watching Andrew Howell here bounce it off the tire barriers. So it's, you got to make it through and hit your lines perfectly, and anything can and will happen.
As we begin qualifying here, a couple of championship notes. Like I mentioned in that opener, 49 points is the difference between Luke Krause and Josh Klog. For Fiercely Forward, those two teammates out and away from the rest of the field. Matt Hartley is 63 points down. To put this into perspective, the maximum points you can get per race is 33. So there is, quick math, like 120 points left on offer, roughly. And it's going to be hard for anyone to get and catch Luke Krause. Drivers' Championship presented by Simracer Coin. Thank you to Miguel Gomez for all of your support continuing for North American Simulated Auto Racing. The Manufacturers' Championship powered by Majors Garage. Subaru has had a clean sweep all season long. Realistically, they've clinched it. I mean, technically they haven't, but 83 points ahead of Volkswagen, I should say, is Subaru, and 99 back is Ford. As the Constructors' Championship presented by Ferris Shifters. Shift your way to the top, facebook.com/Ferris Shifters. Fiercely Forward, 34 points ahead of DriveSVR.com LLM. Fiercely Forward, SVR, Ferris Shifters, Dirt Esport, DNF Auto Care running down the top 5 there in this championship. Second and third and fourth could be a tight battle if something goes wrong, but we'll just have to see. And our final championship is the Sportsman Cup presented by KES Industries, Keep 'em Spinning Industries, Adaptive Controls for Sim Racing. Thank you to Mario Bonfante Jr. for all of your continued support, KESindustries.com. And that championship was kind of muted after Wild Horse a couple races ago when Parker Fleming was unable to participate as Andrew Howell 9 points ahead. As we pay attention, as I'm now not paying attention to a script, all I hear is Zack Johnson, very excitedly. Luke Krause rolls it over the jump. That's another bit of conversation, Cody. This jump is relentless. If you hit it wrong by a millimeter, you're in the tires.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're like perfectly squared up to it when your tires leave the ground. You got to make sure you're perfectly pointed straight with the tires at least. Car can be turned slide like sideways, but you want to make sure right when you're about to lift off that like straighten up your wheels, otherwise it's going to send you for a wild ride.
And he completely overshot the jump, as we see there on that replay. Bounced the car and ended up rolling it in car number 1. A couple of other sponsors that I'd like to mention before we get rolling here: iDrive Sim Training, Drive Safe, Arrive Safe, iDriveSimTraining.com.au. And DNF Auto Care, your friendly Landsboro mechanic, DNFAutoCare.com.au. As we had a couple weeks off, and this schedule grinds on. We've got a couple weeks left. Bark River is going to be an amazing race. That'll be next week. And then we go to Atlanta and Daytona to wind this thing up as we get to the end of 2021. Remember, we have our championship series and our sports car challenge as well, I believe, this week. So a lot of programming here on Nitro Circus Twitch as we finish up qualifying. And Hartley showing pace still, Cody. Right behind Kraus here in car number 1.
Yeah, Kraus was actually sitting P3 for a while, then he laid down that flyer of a 36-1. And then Hartley, 700s back. And then there's a good group of cars from Jason Hook, Josh Clog, Bodie Cryer, and Robbie LaRille. Those 4 guys are like right behind them. So I would say those 6 guys roughly would be kind of the ones to watch. And then everyone else is really tight from a 36.8 with Daniel Aish all the way back to Andrew Howells all the way down to a 37.1. He's pretty far down. So that mid-pack is going to be super tight.
If you're new to NASA Rallycross, our format as we get ready for heat number 1, we will have 3 heat races, 6 laps apiece. You have to take the Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer through to the feature automatically, though. Give us 2 semifinal races, up to 13 cars in each. 8 laps, Joker twice. The top 3 will advance, and the remaining cars, it will give us 12 cars, 10 laps, 2 Jokers for our feature race here in Phoenix. Our grid for Heat 1, Luke Kraus, Josh Clog, Daniel Aish, Matt Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, Justin Robichaux, and Victor Aldrich. And this turn 1, trickier than the others because it's a kink and then to the hard braking of turn 2, and it's really only one groove. And if you get it wrong, we've seen fields be wadded up horribly in turn 1. A red plate signifies Luke Kraus is our championship leader here in NASA Rallycross. And we'll keep an eye on him to see if he can start from pole position yet again, but he has to get through this 6-lap race in order to do so. I think we are waiting. I think that was Matt Kingsbury we were waiting for in the 21, and his brother, Ray Kingsbury. Keep an eye on those 2 throughout the evening. 1 Joker, 6 laps, and 2 will punch their ticket to the feature race. As we go green in Phoenix, off the line, the fiercely forward teammates side by side into turn 1. Clog on the outside of his teammate Kraus. Nice and calm through the corner. Kingsbury into his brother. Matt hit. It looked like it was Aish as Kraus gets turned around in turn 2 as the championship leader. Struggling for the first time in a while. Aish sideways, involved with both of the Kingsbury brothers. As jokering it was Ray and it looked like it was Clog. Aish bouncing around, jokering as well, is car number 1 of Luke Kraus. It's a 3 versus 4 split for the Joker Brigade, and this is unknown territory this season for our championship leader and defending champion, but his teammate Josh Clog loves this as he leads at the end of the lap 1.
Yeah, as Clog was able to escape through the chaos, and Ray Kingsbury just was able to sneak through it too. Got a little dicey there, trying to decide for the Joker. That first lap, then that Joker decision gets really tight because people just randomly dart off and you're kind of unaware of it. So as Ray bounces into the tires after the jump there.
As you notice on the graphic with the Joker icon, clearly they have ran that lap. Luke Kraus deep in that corner, side by side, onto the curb, the sleeping policeman. I think they have been told not to run the tire onto the asphalt, as we know how quick that line is, but Kingsbury holds his own against the defending champion. Remember, Luke Kraus on the iRacing service is a Pro World Championship driver in the Rallycross ranks here, so Ray Kingsbury holding his own in the 25. So the only 2 cars that have not jokered are Aish and Aldrich. Aish jokers, but he was a ping pong ball on that start. I don't think that's going to affect any rotation, although I could be a liar. Speaking of rotation, Kingsbury, both of them very wide through the dirt. Very tricky section to get right because you want to use the torque on these engines. And Aish is going to pass Kraus, contact, and onto the curb. Thought that was going to be much worse than it was.
Yeah, they are not playing nicely tonight with Luke Kraus. I think everyone knows that they need to get around him and have him have a bad night. Because Matt Kingsbury, he was able to jump Ray Kingsbury, his brother, with the Joker, so that puts him into P2, the final transfer spot right now.
As we look through the field, I took a look at Robichaux in the 93, pile drove it into the tires. Running it wide was Kingsbury. He got shoved by Aish. That's going to open up the door for Kraus. Hello, 3 cars, 3 Subaru sandwich as Luke Kraus looks like he's trying to benefit, and the guy that hurts the worst from this is Ray Kingsbury. 2 laps to go for our defending champion, and can he get into a transfer spot? Contact with Aish! And Aish doesn't like this, to the inside of the defending champion. We know Aish, one of the more aggressive drivers of the series. He does not pull over, and he will not give you a position.
As I think Luke was trying to send a little bit of a message there, but H was like, hey, don't mess with me. As he goes
Jumping nearly touch again. Kingsbury's upset at H as well. Here comes the 25. So the Connecticut native sneaks past the 33. White flag for Clog in the 199, and Matt Kingsbury holds the second spot.
Yeah, as Matt was loving to see that in his rearview mirror, let them guys battle so he could run away. Fortunately, Luke Kraus has been released by them too, so let's see if Luke can do anything, but I don't think he has enough time.
Last lap was a 36.7 for Clog, 37.6 for Kingsbury, 37.8 for Luke. If he had a couple more laps, I think something would have been able to be handled here, but Kraus, despite the effort, I don't think it'll happen. His teammate still leads, he's deep on the brakes. Clog's going to win Heat 1. Will Kingsbury hold off Kraus off of the final corner? Yes! Defending champion Kraus to the semifinals for the first time in quite some time here in NASA Rallycross. I didn't expect that at all.
I did not either. That was a crazy, and like you were talking about, that first turn section, I would say, because it's turn 1's the king, but then you have the tight right-hander. So like it funnels in, then it widens back out so you can try to pass, and then it funnels back down again. So it gives you the false sense of confidence that, oh, I can pass, and you probably shouldn't.
To get ready for now, heat number 2, and we'll take a look at the grid for that one. Matt Hartley, Bodie Cryer, Adam Thomas, David Schofield, Andrew Howell, Parker Fleming, and Russell Peterson. Former champion Matt Hartley, 2020A. We remember the battles that he had with Okenhaug, and interestingly, this was the track that Kraus clinched that championship for himself last season. So maybe it's one of those things where he's good one year and bad the next, but we'll have to see. As we get ready for Heat 2, it's another, of course, 6-lap race, and this turn 1. Let's see if it goes 2 for 2 with Calamity. Green flag. Cryer gets a better start off the line compared to Hartley. Thomas gets close to Hartley. Hartley sneaks to the inside. He has a nose on Cryer down to turn number 1. Very quiet through the first couple of corners, much better than last time. Everybody single file, very close, very clean. Let's see the Joker rotation. Cryer, very late move, much slower than Thomas, and Thomas to the inside in the Joker. Schofield tries it as well in the 27 as they nearly make contact as they wadded it up on the jump here, boys. We got the 666 of Howell, the 9 of Peterson, and the 434 of Fleming. Hopefully I'll be able to take a look at that. At the end of the first lap, Hartley leads. If we can get a replay, hopefully on screen, of what happened over the jump.
Good.
Peterson had a really bad jump, landed and bounced in front of Howell. We'll see that now. Across the track and into the 666, and over goes Russell Peterson in car number 9.
And how I said that my last time making the final was because something was exactly like that. Just 2 cars wreck and magically make it through.
The most hilarious thing is that's your car that survived that wreck. As Hartley still leads. Thomas holding off the 05 of Bodie Cryer. I have never seen, in my years of being on the service with the Rallycross stuff, never seen a pass in the Joker. And granted, he was very opportunistic contact with Schofield and Cryer. Cryer very slow off the corner, and Thomas for sure capitalized.
Yeah, these guys are, oh wow, words are hard. These guys are, oh, Adam almost went off there. These guys are playing really nice with each other. Schofield kind of gave Cryer a little bit of a tap there. Now he's looking on the inside of him here. They're being very respectful for one another, as we saw right from the start, where everyone just got single file and went and decided to go racing from there.
Halfway home in heat number 2. Hartley loves this. 2.5 seconds ahead of Thomas. Thomas battling Cryer and Schofield. Fleming sits in 5th. Howell is in 6th, and off the track is Peterson. So the battle here for the transfer spot in heat number 2.
If Dirt Esports looks like they're going to be 2 for 2 as Cryer bicycles it. I know this is Nitro Circus, but we're not going to be doing stunts in these cars at the moment. I was saying, Dirt Esports looking to be 2 for 2 with Thomas being in the transfer spot as Matt Kingsbury did the race before.
As there's one program that has very, very, well, let's back up on that phrase. Words are hard. They've exceeded my expectations, and it is the Ferris Shifter squad, Jason Hook and Matt Hartley. As we know, the DGRX boys and girls have worked so hard to increase their pace. They have really gotten close to being a front-running team, and it is awesome to see with Matt Hartley up front here in heat number 2.
Yeah, as we've known here for a while how good Matt was. He did step away, if I remember correctly, for a little bit from the series, but now with him being back and on that team, he's really boosted the whole confidence of that whole squad.
Final lap for the Australian, leading by a healthy margin. Cryer to the inside of Schofield. This does not matter, but this is certainly helping. Well, it doesn't matter for the transfer. It matters for the seed of the semifinal. But it's helping Thomas sneak away, the winner from Crandon last season. Looks like he will hold a transfer spot. And I'll say this publicly and on air, it seems like it's a different style race today as Hartley wins Heat 2. Different style race today than the others. And it's before we had that incident with Kraus. There's something in the air. Maybe it's close to Halloween. That's why.
Yeah, could be. Very much could be. Yeah, this race was very, like, there was a lot of respect there. The first one, although the first one did seem kind of top heavy, like a lot of our heavy hitters were all in that one. So I think they knew like they had to make it through. Where this one was like, I would say is most of our mid pack besides Hartley. So everyone was so respectful because they're kind of used to racing each other. So I don't know what it is, but that was a really good race that we had there in Heat 2.
As grid for Heat number 3, Jason Hook, Robbie Larill, Kieran Forrest, Big Dog Forrest, Drake Burgoon, Stalwart, Chris Wetz, Ian Fisher, Nathan Ramsey. Ian Fisher hopefully doesn't realize, I think it's 1 joker this time instead of 2 last week. Green flag. Off the line, Forrest gets a better start than Hook. They're going to be 3 wide for second, down to turn 1. Forrest thinks better of it. Wetz is wide in the 71. Down into turn number 2. Larill leads, 1 car around. It's Wetz in the 71. I was just about to mention the man from Texas who has raced in every single season. 5th in practice, not a good start so far. Hook locks it up trying to catch Larill in the 213 through the joker. Forrest, Big Dog's around in the 44. And he's got damage on the front end of that car at the end of the first lap. Robbie Larill leads, and we've seen this before. We know he has pace, but can he finally translate it into maybe a race win?
Yeah, he's had some. I would say he's probably one of our most improved guys this season. So far, especially with all the 3 a.m. practice he's been doing, he's really stepped up his game. And it's really cool to see, especially that's another person I think that's really helping that whole DGR squad, because that's kind of a sister team to the whole DGR Ferris Shifter team. So, as Jason Hook, who looks pretty sporty in practice and qualifying, is right on his back bumper.
End of the second lap. Larill, Hook, that's our transfer. Ian Fisher sneaks past Ramsey for the 3rd position. I'm going to take a look at his lap count. And he's only taken 1 joker, as he had a very public outburst when I tried to tell him that it was only 1 joker. But he apologized, not calling him out here. Newer driver to the series. Hook and Larill battling for the race lead. They are so close to one another. And we'll have to see if the satellite teammate squad here, if they're going to have some argy-bargy action as we take halfway.
Yeah, these two probably practice a ton together, so they know how each other races, so that's why they can race so close and not have to worry about each other. Yeah, these top 2 have really ran away. They're running 36.8s. Robbie ran a 37 flat. Ian Fisher ran a 38.8. And then 48.8 for Nathan Ramsey. So top 2 really checking out.
Very aggressive on the curbs on the inside is Hook. Off the final corner to take 2 laps to go. I think the strategy is, they took their strategy right at the start. So these 2 on pace, equal to each other. We got 2 laps to see who will get the spot. Will Hook apply the bumper to Larill in the 213? I know Jason Hook, one of the nicest guys in the series, but I wouldn't doubt that if he had the opportunity, he'd give the little bumper.
I think right now, knowing that they're transferring into the final, I think he may play it nice, but this is for a race win. It would definitely be different.
As we come to the white flag, still no movement on the running order. Larill ahead of Hook. Wetz has taken his Joker and snuck into the third spot. What could have been for the man from Texas if he didn't have that issue on the first lap of the race. Historically, like we know, Wetz Joker is very close to the end. So Burgoon's the only one left to Joker for that brigade, so I don't know if he's going to be able to hold third, but we'll have to see. Clean over the jump for the final time for Larill.
Yeah, his top two really set up. Hook fell off a little bit. I don't know what happened there, but as Robbie Larill takes heat number 3 victory.
Larill continues his improvement in form, and Jason Hook will transfer through to the feature. Best of the rest will be Chris Wetz, so he will have the best spot as Burgoon hits the wall exiting the Joker. So Wetz third. Unless it's Wetz out of fuel. I think he ran out of fuel at the end because he was so slow compared to the other cars. Doesn't matter though, he still finishes third compared to the other cars, as we have Fisher, Ramsey, Burgoon, and Forrest, the remaining running order. And just like that, we are in the semifinals.
Yeah, as we got coming in here to semifinal number 1. 8 laps, 2 Jokers, if I remember correctly.
Correct. And our defending champion is on pole position. Chris Wetz sits in second. Schofield, Aish, Ramsey, Howell, and Robichaux. And just because you have a number 1, take it from both of us, 4-time champion and 2-time champion respectively, you're in a semifinal, nobody cares that you are a defending champion. They are there to transfer, and they will push you out of the way. I think it's happened to us once or twice individually here.
Individually and probably together.
More than likely together, actually. So you get ready for 8 laps. Now we introduce a second Joker lap. Is it a connection issue for our championship leader? Green flag for semifinal A. Off the line, Kraus gets off well. Wetz follows him. Aish and Schofield in third and fourth. Contact! He does not hit Wetz, so Wetz is going to be benefiting from this. Luke Kraus having connection issues. You know how I hate to break the fourth wall, but that could be important in the next couple of laps. Everybody Jokers except for Robichaux and Wetz like normal. So we'll see what happens with the rotation, but Luke Kraus will lead at the end of the first lap. Aish is in second, Schofield in third. Fourth will be Ramsey. Wetz comes out in front of Howell, and then it is Robichaux.
I don't know how much I like everyone following the same strategy. Like, it's not as
Wetz
beneficial.
The inside of Ramsey. Good pass for Chris Wetz.
Yes.
Remember, the man from Texas, third on the all-time wins list, 19 wins in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Ramsey, slow entering the Joker. He got hit by Robichaux.
Yes, Robichaux just sent it up through there.
Howell now sneaking in on the 71 of Wetz.
Just everyone following it like you're following the leader, so you're not really benefiting from what you can gain with the Joker if you don't follow everyone. So, I don't know, just my thought. That's what I'd be thinking when I'm in the car, but I just, obviously things are a lot different here on the iRacing platform than when we raced in NR 2003.
As Kraus, let's take a look at the Joker rotation. Aish takes his second Joker. He will come out, I think, ahead. It is marginal between these two. Aish to the race lead. Kraus in second. Schofield, Robichaux, Howell, Ramsey. Ramsey nudges Wetz in the 71. Saves it. Hits Ramsey. And I hate to say it. I really hate to say it this way, but that is almost payback for Ramsey's nudge on him 3 seconds before he got turned.
As Kraus takes a Joker here, so he's going to jump back out front.
No contest on the rotation between Kraus and Aish. But it's a worry about those connection issues. We know Wetz takes his Jokers late, so how about that? Where will he filter in to this race as we take cross flags in the first semifinal? Aish and Schofield getting close, battling for the second spot. As the top three have finished their jokers, I think Robichaux has completed his as well. He has not. He still has one joker left. Howell has both of them done. So the only bits of strategy left, Cody, Robichaux with one, Wetz with both of them.
Which I believe Robichaux could kind of play into this Schofield battle a little bit as he's taking the joker here, so we're going to find out really quickly.
As all I'm paying attention is the battle for second, Cody. Aish versus Schofield. Wetz still has not jokered. And Kraus 36-3, Aish 37-7, 37-8 for Schofield. So this battling hindering their ability to try and catch Luke Kraus.
Yeah, as I think them two know that they just need to worry about themselves and not really affect each other. Because if they start battling, then they're going to lose speed and let the guys behind them kind of catch up here. Schofield clips the sleeping policeman there a little bit too much.
Last lap 37-7 for Wetz, so he was right on the pace with the second and third cars. With no jokers taken, this is the last bit of strategy, and it is Chris Wetz. I feel like he'll, of course, pip Howell. I don't know if he'll get Robichaux on the first rotation, but it's going to be interesting. He's going to have to start jokering now. So I'll keep an eye on that with Chris Wetz.
As Luke Kraus is really set away from everyone. Been running mid-36s. And then Aish and Schofield, they're slowing down. They're running 38 seconds, and Robichaux's pretty much caught him as he sent it into the long carousel. So here comes Wetz. He does make it around Howell.
White flag halfway through the last lap. Luke Kraus leads. It's going to be a tall order, I think, for Wetz, now that I'm really looking at it. The man who won his last race, this will date us here, 2018A Milwaukee, the season before we made our debut here on iRacing. So Chris Wetz. It's been a long time, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen this week. Final corner, Luke Kraus will win semi-final A. Aish will come home in second. Schofield, I think, is going to get third. Wetz is going to try, but the beginning of that race hurt him. He will come home in the 13th spot. Best of the rest. 15th, Robichaux. 17th, Howell. 19th is Ramsey.
And unfortunately, as we always felt with Wetz, racing with him for so long, he always tended to be the bridesmaid, never the bride, unfortunately.
I'll always remember the two occasions that he could have won a championship, and it was either family issues or himself choking it away to prevent him winning a championship. 2014A in Irwindale on the last race with 1 lap to go and a corner left at Irwindale, blew the chicane and lost the championship to his teammate Dylan Livingood. Interestingly, Livingood's final championship in the series. As we get ready for our second semifinal here in Phoenix. Cryer, Kingsbury, Fisher, Fleming, Aldrich, Burgoon, Peterson, Forrest. We'll have to keep an eye on Forrest as we get ready for this race. We know he needs redemption from his heat race. Green flag. Missing the start was Fisher. That's going to hurt Forrest. Forrest to the inside. Contact off the start. Burgoon and Fisher into the tires. Someone's engine has grenaded. I think it was Burgoon's. Or Fleming, sorry.
Yeah.
Cryer, Kingsbury, Peterson, Aldrich. Let's see the first rotation. Kingsbury does not joker, I don't believe. Burgoon does not as well. Everybody else will take to the joker. And Bodie Cryer will exit the joker, leading at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, as most of the field jokers again here in lap 1 try to set out away from everyone. Unfortunately, yeah. Parker Fleming and Ian Fisher, I believe, are done after that start incident.
As it looks as they are both in the pit lane, and they will be relegated out of this race. Russell Peterson in second. Big Dog's going to take his second bit of strategy, so immediately we will write him up to the top. And it looks like Justin Robichaux, well, he did not make the feature race. He is disconnected from the session. Exiting the joker is Big Dog, and he's going to take the lead. So we'll put the 44 to the race lead. One joker for the second and third cars there, Cody, but Forrest has already completed his strategy. Peterson runs it wide in turn 2. I don't know if that was a good idea for Forrest.
Yeah, I think I would have held on to that one a tiny bit. Unless he felt like someone ahead of him was really going to slow him down, then it might have been a smart move. As Ray Kingsbury takes the Joker, so he's going to jump to the lead.
This is actually crucial because that realistically is the rotation. And if Cryer gets stuck behind Forrest, this could be crucial in... I don't think it'll affect the transfer for him, but it'll certainly affect the seeding order for Cryer in the 0-5. So he's got to release himself right now. I would assume he will. Smart man is Bodie Cryer in the 0-5. Read both of our minds. You can't be stuck behind a guy that's already completed his strategy.
Exactly.
So that puts Cryer back to the race lead as we have the asphalt there. Back onto the dirt, and he will lead ahead of Ray Kingsbury as we take cross flags in semifinal B. Let's get a reset of our running order, Cody. We got Cryer, Kingsbury, Forrest, the top three.
Yeah, as Victor Elder sitting in P4, and Drake Burgoon on P5. He just did his first part of strategy here. See when he does the second. That did bring him up a little bit, so he may be battling with his teammate in Kieran Forrest.
The only thing that just alarmed me, as commentators curse, we just looked at him and he clipped the tires with the left rear. I remember when we drove these cars, they were very fragile, and I think what I was just about to say, with the left rear being broken, I think he heard it because he slammed into the wall on the right side.
Yeah, as he caught the wall there going through the Joker, so that left side of that car is a little bit messed up now. See if he can be able to limp this around. I think P4 is as good as he's going to get now, unfortunately, with that little bit of damage.
But Big Dog looking good, sitting in third as we ride on board with the 415 for just a moment there. And this jump, two apexes that you need to hit on the right and the left and not send it into the tires. I missed, I think, my last feature race at this track by doing that. It's just so easy to overjump because you don't think that you have to really control it over this jump. And plot twist, you do. 2 laps to go for Cryer. No running order change for the top three.
That was the top two really set out, Bodie Cryer and Ray Kingsbury. And then, yeah, Kieran Forrest sitting in P3. There's not much of a battle ever.
I think Big Dog's out of fuel. Oh, no, he's not. Is he? It was stuttering off the corner.
I wonder if he missed a shift there.
He could have missed a shift. I overreacted there. Sorry, guys. I was like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Especially, yeah, for me being the team owner of that car. And I know he's had kind of a rough season so far, not having the best of season that he's wanted. I know the whole sequential sim sport guys are really thinking of what to do for next season already. As we haven't had the best season. Had some good shining moments, but see if we can possibly improve for next season.
Half a lap to go in the semifinal, and Bodie Cryer looks as though that he will be transferring through along with Ray Kingsbury and Big Dog Forrest in the 44. Final corner, our Endurance Cup champion from last season, Bodie Cryer, off the final corner. One of the best drivers in the Stadium Super Trucks, proving his talent in the rally cars. He wins semifinal B. Kingsbury second. Third is Big Dog Forrest. It looks like Burgoon went off the track, so he gets passed by Aldrich, who will seed in 14th, best of the rest. 16th, Peterson. 18th, Burgoon. And then 20th, looks like Fleming, and 20th is Fisher, and 21st is Fleming. And just like that, it's warm-up time. So what we're going to do, normally I would step away, which I'm going to be here, but I'm going to take a quick breather, Cody and myself, for just a couple moments. So we will give you onboard cameras, hopefully, if Zack Johnson is willing. We'll give you onboard cameras and show you around this Phoenix Raceway.
as we are just wrapping up warm up here, as I will hand it off to our voice of NASA Nitro Circus Rallycross, Josh Mertz.
We get ready for thank you, Cody, round number 7 of the 24th season of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. And round 203 of the championship. Overall, we're going to have 12 cars getting ready for 10 laps, and it's going to be like this for the grid. Josh Clogg, Matt Hartley, Robbie Larill, Matt Kingsbury, Adam Thomas, Jason Hook, Luke Kraus, Bodie Cryer, Daniel Aish, Ray Kingsbury, David Schofield, and Kieran Forrest is our grid. Our broadcast brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers. And our 12 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. And if anything has been foreshadowing, its turn 1 and 2 is going to be tricky, and we thought that it was going to be the second row of the grid for Luke. It is the third row outside for our championship leader. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Thank you all for joining us tonight on Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by ASN, as we get ready to go green in Phoenix. Off the line, Clogg gets a good start. Kraus gets a great start from the third row of the grid. Put him into second, past Larill, past Thomas, into turn number 1. 3 wide, Hook, Kingsbury. It was Cryer there for a minute, and Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, that is on the outside. Contact nearly, Larill gets into the 1, shoves him out wide. Hartley gets turned, saves it in the 48. He does there in turn 3. Jokering on the first opportunity is Clogg. Looks like it's Larill, Hook, Hartley, and Kraus. Thomas, contact with Aish and Forrest as they came together entering the Joker. But at the end of the first lap, we've got Josh Clogg out and away from the rest of the field, and Luke Kraus deep in the field.
As Josh Clogg was able to just jump away from the whole field. That whole start was a chaotic mess. Everyone was getting pushed everywhere. Unfortunately, Luke Kraus, he was all the way up to third and then got shoved back to about P5 at the moment. As now we're splitting.
I don't know if you saw that, Cody. Larill shimmied the car side by side to decide what he wanted to do, and at the very last possible commitment second, he made a Joker pass. So his strategy's complete. So is Clogg. So is Hartley. And now Kraus and Hook are going to lead the 1 Joker brigade so far. Kingsbury has not taken any Jokers, and he is right there. Or yes, he has. I apologize. 1 Joker. He's right there on car number 1.
Yeah, as Matt Hartley, the best of the non-Subaru brigade at the moment. It seems like it's the fiercely forward guys against the fair shifters with a DNF Autocar car stuffed in the middle. Hartley gives Larill a little bit of the bumper, as they may be satellite teammates, but I think all bets are off.
And this could be crucial in the championship because Clogg is where he needs to be, and his teammate is way down the order. I'm going to do some really super quick math if I can. It's a 10-point swing, so it's still not that big of a swing as I thought it would be, but it's still the momentum swing as well. Jokering is Kraus in car number 1. Where will this put him in relation to his teammate? I think he's going to come out battling with Larill, but it's going to be close. He's going to get by Larill, so put Kraus to second.
As he's got a massive run, he may give his teammate a little bump here going into turn 1.
And we have not seen a teammate battle, I think, since us. You and me and myself and Philip Kraus back in those MRT days on NASCAR 2003. So we'll see if the teammates are going to be dueling, if Clogg is going to move over, or if Kraus is just going to have to find a way around.
But with them two battling, it's going to let those other guys catch up to him. Hartley sends it, rolls it.
He shoved it into the corner, hit the curb. I thought he was going to save it, and he's turtled on his side, so no saving it there. But you cannot discredit him for trying.
He was definitely trying to get that third step of the podium because I think he knew that's what that battle was for. Fortunately, caught a little bit of that, too much of the blue turtle.
We take cross flags for the top 2. Strategy's out the window. The gap is pretty much non-existent. And we're going to see if Clogg can hold off his championship-winning teammate. But Larill, right there as well.
If you look on our leaderboard, P4, who's kind of in the frame, has not taken a Joker yet.
He has not taken his second.
He's taking his second, I meant. Sorry. He's not taking his second Joker, and he's not that far off the back bumper of these guys. He could jump all three of them, especially if they battle as much as they
I didn't pay attention to that at all. That is huge.
I just saw it. So Jason
over the jump. Crosses into the tires, Cody! Our championship leader! Into the tire barrier!
At first I wasn't sure if he broke it because he's just sitting there. That right front is really cambered in, though.
He's got to wait for the traffic. He's got to wait for the traffic. This could be crucial. Is he going to get back on track? He is. We will put him back to 9th place. Let me look at the points. That will cut the gap in half.
And you can win 5 races, and in one race you can almost throw it all away like this happened to be. So now Robbie Larill's sitting in P2. He is catching Josh Clog. And Jason Hook is right there. Jason Hook could jump both of these guys and take the win.
Every single show, even when I was on NASCAR 2003 and I was recording for myself and 3 other people, I would say anything can happen because it usually does. Case in point, 2 laps to go. Clog leads. Larill is second. Hook is third. And Kraus, P9.
Yeah, this has been a wild race. We've seen Kraus getting shoved out of the way a lot more than normal. I don't know what's up tonight. If everyone was like, hey, let's not let this guy beat us like he has been. This Clog was a little bit sideways over the jump, so Larill gets a massive run coming into the sweeper here.
Clog might be cracking under the pressure. He was very sloppy over the jump, very sloppy through this final corner. And this might be one on the last lap. Larill squirrely out of the final corner. White flag for Josh Clog, but Jason Hook, he's right there, and he has a Joker left.
Yes, he is not that far off the back bumper. He's only 3 seconds. If I remember correctly, it's like a 5-second delta. So he should jump these guys fairly quickly. And also, you get that massive run to the start-finish line. Here we go.
As we take a look, I'm trying to take a look. He's going to get it from the helicopter camera. Final corner for Josh Clog. It's going to be side by side, exiting the Joker, and it's coming down to this. Final corner. Clog's got it. Hook has the run. He can't do it. And Clog's going to win in Phoenix. Ahead of Jason Hook and Robbie Larill. Matt Kingsbury's going to come home in the 4th spot. 5th is Kingsbury. 6th is Cryer. 7th is Thomas. 8th is Luke Kraus as he gets 1 spot back. Wow. 9th is Ace, 10th Schofield, 11th Hartley, 12th Forrest, and that was completely different than what I thought was going to happen.
As Ray Kingsbury put in chat, P5 for a car that rolled over. If that tells you how this race was, nothing does.
We take a look there. Officially, well, unofficially, Josh Clog by half a second over Jason Hook. And I think that might be, actually, I'm probably horribly off base here, that might be one of the closest finishes, in a feature at least, aside from last season at Park River. 1.4 seconds back is Robbie Larill. Then you can clearly see the gap in performance. Matt Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, Cryer, Thomas, Luke Kraus. I don't know if that's because he got lucky on the jump or because of his talent, but he was able to nurse that car and gain a position, which is crucial. That is 1 point. Ahead of Daniel H., Schofield, Hartley, and Forrest. Wow.
That race was absolutely wild there. From front to back of the field, just mass chaos everywhere.
As I'll try and bring in our podium finishers to the media pen, we'll have a nice chat with them as to what in the world just happened here in Phoenix. As I don't know where Josh Clog is, we'll have to see if we'll get a chat with him, but we'll first bring in our 3rd place man, Robbie Larill. And Cody, this one's all you.
Hey there, Robbie. You there? As I see, he has his mic muted at the very moment.
If he's not there, we'll have a chat with Jason.
Yeah, let's see if we can swap these guys out quick.
As now we bring in Jason Hook. And yeah. Cody, he's all yours.
Yeah, let's try this again. Hey, Jason.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Oh, absolutely wonderful after that crazy race that you guys put on for us. And we had the best view possible to watch it. Were you thinking you were going to be able to get Josh Clogg there?
I thought I might be close, but I kind of messed up a couple of big corners that I needed to get him and have a really good joker. But I was very close. But yeah, he put on a real good run, and yeah, second. I'm very happy with second place. Awesome.
Yeah, as I was kind of watching you in practice and everything, you seem to have the pace with Luke and Josh and the Fiercely Forward squad. Those guys have been kind of the class of the field so far. But you guys with the we talked about too, the Fair Shifter squad and the whole DGR squad in general. They've really stepped up their game this year. What do you think that's kind of related to?
I think it's probably down to a lot of practice that we put on. You can thank Robbie Larill for heaps of sessions that he puts up constantly, like the guy just never sleeps. And generally just the camaraderie that we have. We're able to help each other and, give tips and that all the time. So, and that's to everyone too. Anyone wants to jump in with us and it's probably the best way to learn.
Yeah, as you guys have been putting on good races each and every week and putting you guys in the possible podium positions. Your teammate hardly tried and unfortunately rolled it there. So
he got unlucky, didn't he?
Yeah, at least you were able to kind of pick up the slack there a little bit and jump into the P2. Who'd you like to thank to get you on that second step of the podium?
I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Simracer Coin, like to thank Nitro Circus, and of course NASA. DGR in general, all my guys are all awesome, and my ladies. And Ferris Shifters, shift your way to the top always. We've got DNF Auto Care, we've got iDrive Sim Training, of course, and everybody. And Ian, big shout out to a new guy, Ian Fisher. He's joined us recently, and he's a good guy. We're going to get some pace into him. So thanks to everybody, and my mum, and my dad, and my wife, and my kids, and my dog.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week in Park River.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
As we don't have our race winner, Josh Clogg, as he had to skedaddle to other commitments, but we do have Robbie Larill. And I got to ask, from your perspective, Mr. Larill, what happened on the start? We had our championship leader right there, and then he vanished. So what's your thought process on that?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly what happened throughout that. I couldn't tell which one was Clogg and which one was Luke, and it kind of threw me off there. But I guess we got into each other a little bit at the beginning, or he maybe hit the car. I don't know. I have to look back at the replay, but I think he hit somebody in front of him, and it basically brought him to a stop, made me tap him, and it was one of those things. Well, I'm going for the middle, and I darted the gap.
Is how how was this track? It's a question that I can't believe I'm asking now, but how is the track when it's a clean track with the Subaru versus when it grips up? I mean, do you notice that there's asphalt underneath?
It's not as noticeable since the last time they did that dirt work to it. It's not as noticeable anymore. I mean, it's still got a little bit more grip to it, but it's not like it used to be. Before, it used to be like driving on straight up tarmac the whole time, but like that, it's got a little bit of looseness, so you got to be easy with your throttle, but easy enough throttle, you can get some good grip.
And that's exactly why I asked, because I remember racing in Sonoma, and it was basically like dirt didn't exist. Cody, you got anything for Robbie?
No, as we were talking to Jason Hook, he gave you a shout out for putting up those tests, and I think the whole series thanks you for that, for letting everyone test when everyone has the free time and kind of compare notes a little bit. So as a series, we would like to thank you for that.
Oh, it's not a problem. I enjoy it when other people join too, because a lot of times, half the times I'm in there by myself, but I didn't get to practice too much for this one.
You got anybody or any partners you'd like to thank for your result?
Yeah, I'd like to thank DNF Auto. I'd like to thank DGR. Y'all. Also like to give a shout out back to Jason. It was fun. Matt, I don't know where he came out of it. He just came out of nowhere, and I saw him rolling over my car. I don't know if I did something to him or not, or took his line or what, but
I completely kind of forgot about that, even though I lost my mind. So you guys were battling so hard going into the final corner. He dove it on the inside, clipped the curb, and rolled it. And I thought he was going to save it, but he had too much momentum. and rolled the car.
That's what happened. So I wasn't sure. I thought, because I knew I came out wide because like to cut in on that curb, and I thought he was just trying to send it up the gap from my perspective because I couldn't see him coming. I just thought he sent it, but I get so confused sometimes because like my car and Daniel Ace's car's the same. Jason, besides the wheel color, but I can't see that behind me. So I thought Jason was right on me the whole time. I didn't realize he had another Joker at the end either when he came out.
He definitely was not Jason. It was certainly
kind of watching it here. I found the replay. It's on lap 5 of the feature. He slid up in there and he kind of bounced into you, which shoved him in between the two kind of blue turtles. So then he just had to launch it over the second one, and it just happened to flip him over. So it was kind of.
Yeah, I've seen that. It just all I see is just a car rolling over my hood, and I was like, "What?"
Not expecting that one whatsoever.
No, I wasn't expecting this whole race. This whole race threw me for a loop. I mean, we got people in the front that's normally not there, and it's. I think that dirt change they did to it, I think that really stirred things up a little bit too, and I think it's going to make things interesting for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
I don't know
Zack,
if you're taking a look right there. Yeah, clips the curb and over he went. Well,
A for
good
effort.
run, my friend. A for good run, my friend, and we will see you in Bark River in a week's time.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll wrap this guy up really quickly. I've got my fancy monologue I've got written, but Cody, what are your final thoughts?
Of all the things, I don't think we expected to have Luke Krause be P8. I would have to say that really did shake up the points a lot.
Yes.
That kind of, even though I think Luke's now still like 20 some points out in front,
34.
that did make it so if he does have another bad week, which we've seen on the truck tracks, anything can happen at Bark River. It could be a wide open game going into Daytona. So it's going to be a real fun sight to see, and let's see what happens next time we're on track.
As Josh Clogg becomes the 36th winner in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge over 9 years and 202 races. From all of us at North American Simulated Auto Racing, Nitro, Circus, and the Automotive Sports Network, we thank you for joining us for this presentation of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Coverage today was brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers. And while our 21 Simracers raced to own the winner's coin tonight, only Josh Clogg came out on top. We'd also like to thank Major's Garage for powering our series, along with KES Industries, iDrive Sim Training, DNF Auto Care, and Ferris Shifters. A couple programming notes before we vanish for the evening. Wednesday, I don't know who's exactly going to be here, so it might not even be a live show, but the RK Designs Championship Series in Detroit, the doubleheader, we'll get you more updates there, but that's going to be Wednesday. And then Thursday, the Sports Car Challenge presented by Penguin RC at Mosport Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. You'll have Chad Irvine and Ray Kingsbury. But for Zack Johnson and Cody Erdmann, I am Josh Mertz. We will see you for Rallycross next week in Bark River. But until then, so long, everyone.